Hello and welcome to another podcast episode. This is episode 122. I have got knitting to share with you, a finished crochet project which you've kind of seen before, but I've completely finished it now, which I hadn't last time. And I've got some plans for some future project which I want to share as well. So lots to talk about today. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns, I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website yarnaddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. So let's start with the crochet. I showed this a 3 weeks ago maybe, that I finished this bag, but I hadn't put the handles on. So first I was going to crochet a handle, and I started, but I just wasn't enjoying it. So then I thought I will buy some handles. So I looked on Etsy and tried to find some leather handles. I wanted ones that were long enough to carry it across my shoulder because I am quite big, so I need a slightly longer drop here. These are only just, if I was wearing like a winter coat, they wouldn't be long enough. I don't think I'll be wearing these in the winter. So I found these. I actually thought I'd ordered black ones, but they're brown. I ordered 2 sets just in case I fancied making another bag. And they're from the UK. Can't remember the name of the company now, but I think I mentioned last week they'd come, but I hadn't stitched them on yet. And they came with these little like metal fastening things, but because this is very open fabric, I couldn't really work out how to like use those, and I was a bit like, how do I fasten these on? So they had like 2 pre-punched holes. I do have the other set of handles somewhere, but I don't know where. So I just used some of the yarn I knitted with, or the raffia I knitted with, and I basically sewed it through that hole. So I went down through the hole, up, down through the hole, around that. So it's like a figure of 8 multiple times on both of them, and hopefully that will be strong enough. We'll see. I do have another ball of the raffia there, so if it's not strong enough and it basically ruins this top part of the bag, I could take the handles off, unravel the top part of the bag, recrochet it, and it'd be fine. I really like it. I have worn it once. Not last week, end of the week before, I think it was. No, it must have been last week. I can't remember. One day I went down to Dutch nurseries. My husband and my youngest daughter, was home for a few days, and my husband and my daughter went to, it must have been last week, went to walk from Lanhydrock House near Bodmin to Restore Castle, and they thought it was like a couple hours. It was like an hour. So it wasn't as long as I'd planned, and I drove to, because I didn't really want to do that walk. I've been having a bit of a problem with my hip lately, so I drove to the Duchy of Cornwall Nursery. So Duchy of Cornwall Nursery, which is like a garden centre and a very posh gift shop, and a really, really lovely cafe restaurant area. It is quite a marketplace. Some of the stuff they sell there is quite expensive, but they do have a really good garden centre, so if you're into plants and things, it's a really good place to go. Their coffee shop, which they've extended a lot, and they got a lovely terrace, and that's beautiful, but it's usually quite busy, so I went straight there. I wanted to have a look around, and the coffee shop wasn't very busy when I was there, and they've extended this since last time I was there last year. But I decided to go and get a table straight away, just in case it got busy, because I've been there before and then not been able to get a table. So I was sitting there. I had a cake, which was really nice, huge cake, apricot roulade, I think it was, absolutely delicious. And I sat there knitting and listening to a podcast, I think, watching the views, beautiful views, and for about nearly an hour. And then my husband rang and said, right, we're at the castle, which you can actually see from the garden centre. And I was like, well, I haven't looked around yet. So they decided to go into the castle. My husband has a membership, which means he gets free entry for 2 people. We've been there loads before. Restore Castle. If you're really interested in old castle ruins, by all means go. it's not a lot there. It's a castle ruin. It's not that big. I've been several times before. I will probably go again because we can get free entry. But I didn't feel like paying over £10 to go in. So I spent a bit longer at the garden centre having a look around. Only bought a orchid spray for my orchids. And then I went and picked them up. But I did take this bag with me because it was sunny and warm and really nice. One of the lovely days we've had lately. We've had a lot of rain, but we had some few days. So I put my knitting in here, water bottle, a couple other things, and it was fine for that. And then I had a handbag, a small handbag with like all my normal stuff. So it sits quite nicely on my shoulder. Let's stand up. Like I said, I don't think I could fit it on my shoulder if I wore a winter coat, but I can't see me carrying this in the winter. I really like it. I was considering buying some more of this raffia and making another one, but realistically I have design deadlines I need to work on, and I also have other projects I need to work on, so I don't think I'm going to make another one this summer. I might buy some more of the raffia for like next year, I don't know, but crochet bags are really popular at the moment and I love this. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to write it up as a pattern or not. I feel like I should, but then I'm also like, we're halfway through this summer, and by the time I get it written up and edited, we're probably going to be at the end of August and we're going into autumn. And do people really want to make this in the autumn? I don't know. So maybe I will write it up just so I remember what I've done, and then save it for next year. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But and I also don't know how easy it is to get raffia yarn. So I crocheted this in King Cole raffia. It's raffia is 100% cellulose rayons. It's basically paper, as far as I understand. This is 50 grams. It comes on like a paper cone in the middle, I guess, to keep it contained. And it has 114 meters, 50 grams. So I used 3 of these because I bought 4. So I'm keeping this one. I may make another one. I do quite like it. But we'll see how much I use it, which very much depends on what the weather is going to be like for the rest of the summer. That is one thing I've been working on. I've been mainly working on a magazine deadline this week because I had to finish it. Well, deadline's not actually for 2 more weeks, I think, but I wanted to finish it because it was a very small project. And I thought I would have finished it like a week ago. And I have worked on it almost every day. And I'm really surprised that it took me as long as it did to finish. I have not finished all the knitting. I've got some other stuff I need to do, some finishing. It's quite a significant amount of finishing on it, and which I've set aside some time tomorrow afternoon to finish that. But that leaves me a bit more time to work on my Murano shawl. Now, we have been away for the last couple of days, so let me talk about that first because it will relate to what knitting I've gotten done. So I finished my deadline project on Sunday, I think. Yeah, Sunday. We went away on Monday afternoon. My youngest daughter, Emily, has graduated from medical school. So very, very proud of her. When she finished A-levels, she did a biology degree in Cardiff, in Wales. And part of that degree was a year of work experience. And she worked in Madrid in Spain for a year, which she absolutely loved. But the job she did there wasn't that busy. She didn't have, it wasn't even like part-time work, to be quite honest. So she had a lot of time off, and I think she spent a lot of time walking and running around Madrid, exploring Madrid. She got really into running while she was there. And she came home from Madrid saying, I want to apply to medical school after I finish my degree. So we were like, okay. She was doing a biology degree. We had said to her before she went to university, you sure you don't want to consider medicine? Because her grades were really good. So we said, you sure you don't want to consider medicine? And she said, no, absolutely not. So she came home, she said, I want to apply to medical school. So we said, fine. She had to do 2 entrance exams. She was applying for a graduate entry programme. 4 different universities. I think she had to do 2 different entrance exams because I think they don't use the same entry exam from what I understand. She did really well in those. She like studied for the last couple of months in Spain, and when she got home all summer she studied. She also worked in a local care home because they would like you to have some experience working in a care home. Apparently that's one of the requirements from what I understand. So she worked in a local care home all summer, studied for these exams, sat the exams, did really, really well. Like I think she was in like top 5%, top 10%, something like that. She went for interviews at all the 4 schools. She got offered a place at all the 4 schools, which did, I must admit, that did surprise me. I wasn't expecting that. And she chose Swansea in Wales because she wanted to stay in Wales. So she then did a 4-year postgraduate or graduate entry medicine degree. And she's now finally finished. She started in 2020, so she started while we were still in a lot of pandemic restrictions and lockdown. They were told they had to be in Swansea because part of it would be in person. Most of it in the first year was online, and even I think all the way through, a lot of most of their lectures have been online, because I think once they got them used to doing online lectures, they were a bit like, why are you making us come in when we've done this online? So I think most of their lectures have been online, but obviously practical and stuff you've got to do in person. So they've had a bit of a strange degree, really, I guess. So she graduated on Tuesday. She's starting work as a doctor in August. So yeah, very, very pleased. 4 years postgraduate degree in medicine. Normally it's 5 years in the UK. It was very intense 4 years, I think. Luckily my daughter's, because my oldest daughter works in Wales as well, she's a statistician and she's done incredibly well in her job. She's got promoted really, really quickly. She works really, really hard and really long hours, and they share a house in Wales. So I think her sister has really been there for her to support her, because I think she's found it stressful at times. But she hasn't graduated, so we drove up to Wales on Monday afternoon. Her graduation was the first one of the day on Tuesday. We had to be at the venue at 8 o'clock for her to pick up her gowns and have photographs and stuff taken. The graduation was supposed to start at 9:30. They didn't start letting us in till 9:30. People were still coming in at 10. I don't think it actually started like 10:15, maybe even 10:30 by the time they got started. And they were having like 3 ceremonies during the day. So how late they were running by the last one. When we came out, they were like really chasing us out the door because they had a queue full of people waiting to come in. And then because they normally do an oath reading or oath taking ceremony as part of the graduation, the university decided they weren't going to do that this year because to save time. It would have saved like probably 5 minutes, which in the scheme of how late we were running, I don't think it would have made a lot of difference. So we had to then go across Swansea to the university for a little reception there. They had some drinks and cakes for us and chance to mingle and chat for a bit, and then we went into a little theatre and they did some speeches and a couple of awards, and then the oath taking ceremony there. So it was quite a long day, and then after that she had to go return her gown and cap, and then we went and had a Chinese meal in the middle of the afternoon, and then we dropped the girls back to their place, got changed and drove home. So we got home at 9 o'clock last night, and we had been up, I got up at 5:30 because we stayed with the girls, 4 of us getting in the shower and showered, ready, makeup, hair, everything, breakfast, all that kind of stuff. It was quite busy, so I got up at 5:30. So it was a really long day yesterday, and the only knitting I did yesterday was in the drive home from Wales. So driving home from Wales, I tried to sleep because I was really tired, but I couldn't get to sleep in the car. My hip was really hurting and I just felt really sore and uncomfortable. And then I drove for a bit, and then Simon drove for the last bit, and I did a bit of knitting. So I'm knitting socks for Simon. I actually lost the label yesterday. It fell out of my bag and it went down the side of my seat, and so between the seat and the door, and I couldn't see it, and I forgot to look for it when we got home last night. So I might, if I remember later, have a look for it. So I've lost the label, but it is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply. I got a feeling that maybe it was like rainbow rum or something, but I can't remember. But it's a rainbow colourway. So these are for Simon. Last week I got there. So I knitted that in the car yesterday. I could have got a lot more knitting done if I picked up my knitting as soon as we got on the motorway, but I was trying to get to sleep because I was really tired. So I only knitted for like the last, it wasn't even an hour, less than an hour I think, 45 minutes maybe. So I got that knitting done. I've done 60 rounds. I haven't decided, I'm going to just move my marker up so that I don't forget, so I can keep track of how much knitting I do on this in the next week. This is just an out and about project. I did put it in the car when we went to the graduation yesterday, but I carried a really tiny handbag, so I didn't take it with me. I wish I had, because we sat outside the venue for ages waiting for Simon and Emily to get her gown and everything and get the photos done, and I could have done knitting then, but I didn't. I'd left it in the car, so that I didn't do anything. But this is kind of like an out and about project. The socks off assignment. I need to decide what I'm going to do about the heel. I normally do an afterthought heel for self-striping socks. I am thinking about doing the gusset, a little bit of a gusset, which means I would increase before I get to the heel, and then a short row heel, and then decrease the gusset. But that will interfere with the stripes, so I don't know. I'm probably going to do another 20 rounds of stockings of rib, and then I might start the gusset increases and see what it looks like and decide what I want to do. But I might just end up doing an afterthought heel. So got a little bit done on that yesterday, but not a lot. I have got quite a bit done on my Murana shawl. So I'm re-knitting my Murana shawl in YarnAddict Organic Trio, which is organic merino, organic cotton and silk. And I got to the end of this lace panel, which is the last lace panel before the edging, and I thought I would go straight into the edging, so I was quite excited in the car on Monday. I knitted a lot on this in the car on Monday. I was quite excited thinking, oh, I can get the edging done, maybe I can get it done by Wednesday. And I was like, no, that's too long enough. But then I realized that I had another kind of garter stitch section before the edging, so I've done a couple of rows of the garter stitch sections. I think I got 14 more rows of garter stitch and then the edging to do. I was slightly worried I'd have enough yarn because this has slightly less yarn in the ball than the original yarn I used, but I think I'll be okay. So I got 6 more rows for this, and then I got 6 rows plus the edging with this. I think I should be fine actually. But I set myself a goal a couple of weeks ago to knit 2 rows a day. So since last week, which is where the marker is, I've done that much. I haven't worked on it every day, but I have done, hang on, 2, 4, 6, 8. I reckon I've done 10 rows, maybe 12. So that's not bad. I think I'm doing okay with that. So I really would like to try and finish that this week, especially as I finish this deadline project I was working on. Although I do need to start another deadline project, which I did talk about, I don't know if it's last week or the week before. I kind of started it and then I wasn't happy with it, so I decided I need to knit a swatch to work out the shaping. I did that. I wrote up the pattern, and then I thought I'm not happy with it, so I need to have a look at that. Probably not today because I'm quite tired. But tomorrow evening probably I need to sit down and really look at that and decide how I'm going to work out the shapings. I need to really get it on the needles before the weekend. Because of the yarn and the project, I'm not going to be working on that every time I sit down to knit. I think it'll probably mainly be like an evening project, so I need another project as well, and I don't want that other project to just be my song. This several times before, my Truly Hooked advent calendar. I really want to cast on for that because I would like to finish to get the pattern written up to release it in plenty of time for Advent season. Probably like October would be a good time to release it, so people who have Advents left over from last year, they haven't finished yet, or haven't knitted up yet, are panicking because they're getting new Advents this year and they might be looking for patterns. So that's my goal. I was going to start on it now. I haven't decided. I thought I'd decide on the stitch pattern I want to use, but I'm not happy with it, so I need to do a bit more swatching and make some decisions. So and I just love the colours, and I really want to start on it. I'm probably 90% decided what I'm going to knit with it, but I'm not 100% decided. Manus Uruguay Marina is one of the yarns I stock in my online shop. It is gorgeous. It is 100% merino. It is lace weight. It has about 800 meters per 100 grams, but it is a singles yarn, so it feels a bit thinner than other yarns that have that meterage. So I have wanted to knit a sweater for that. I think I've talked about it a couple of weeks ago, saying I wanted to knit a sweater that would be sort of lightweight, because I was thinking I could use that in the summer on slightly cooler days like today. Like if I'm wearing a t-shirt and I'm going out, I could throw that over the top. So I've been thinking about that a lot, and I was thinking I would cast on for it when I go to Norway at the end of August, because it would be a small project, so it'd be easy to put in my bag. But I've decided on another project for going to Norway, which is even smaller, because I don't think I could knit a whole sweater in the less than, I think we'll maybe there for like 10, 12 days. It's not a full 2 weeks anyway. So I was thinking maybe I could cast that on now. We also have a trip coming up, just a long weekend in the middle of August with a lot of driving. So there'll be a lot of knitting time in the car at least. And this would be something that'd be relatively easy that I can knit on in the car, especially because the body of it would be in the round. Top would be back and forth probably, but the body would be in the round. But I need to nail down a few things. So before we went to Wales on Monday, I was going to just take my socks with me because I thought I wouldn't have that much knitting to do, and then I grabbed this and thought I might as well take that because I can knit on that in the car. Even though it's lace, I can still do it in the car. And then I found some yarn of this, and I had a little leftover ball, so I grabbed that and I knitted a swatch. So I have just quickly blocked it this morning. A swatch I wanted to be part stocking stitch and part lace. So I swatched 2 stitch patterns, first this one, then the bottom here, which I'm not 100%, it's not easy to see it. No, that's too far away. Anyway, and then I wasn't 100% sure about that, so I did another stitch pattern at the top here, which I think I maybe like more. So I have blocked it. I need to work out how much yarn I'm going to need. I'm thinking probably 2 skeins will be enough, but I need to work out exactly how much yarn I'm going to need, because I might need 3. I have considered doing 2 different colours, so that's the colour I use for the swatch, and I love that colour. But I also feel like brighter colours look better on me, although that is quite nice. It will look a bit paler knitted up because the yarn's so thin, so it does look a little bit paler knitted up than it does in the skein, I think. So I really like that colour, it's gorgeous. I really like that colour. It's kind of navy with like a sort of hint of purple. It's more navy than it looks on my screen, but it's got like a hint of purple, but like a navy with a hint of purple. I think it looks a bit purple on my screen, but really like that colour. I was thinking maybe those 2 colours together. The advantage of doing 2 colours together is that it gives knitters more options. Some of you may have a lot of lace weight yarn in your stash, but maybe only single skein. So if I used 2 different colours, then you would have more options by combining different colours. And it also means that when I do shows, if people want that pattern, I don't have to worry about having sweater quantities in one colour, because I don't order that much of each colour when I do shows, because generally I don't sell like tons of each colour. So that would be another option. Although none of this sweater, even in my size and bigger, wouldn't need, I would say probably max 3 skeins. It's not, wouldn't take, and if you're a smaller size, you might get away with 1. Most sizes probably take 2, I would guess. So I looked at some of the other colours they have. I need to look at their website and see what's available in the UK, because some of these only have 1 skein of, so if I need to order more, I need to do that. Oh, I've just seen another colour. Let me just grab that. So these are the colours and the ones I have that speak to me the most. I quite like that one, but it's probably a little bit too peachy. It's really pretty, but I think it's probably a bit too peachy for me. I like that one. I knitted one of my shawls in it, or one of my sample knitters knitted one of my shawls in it, which I can't remember what it's called now, earlier this year, and I love that colour. I thought it'd be a bit variegated for lace, but it looked really good in the shawl. But it has got a bit of orange and bit in it, which I'm not that keen on. And then I was looking at that. That's really pretty, but again, I'm wondering whether it's a little bit too pale for me, whether it will look a bit too washed out, bearing in mind I have a slight tan now. And then it's this one. I really like that one. But again, That looks quite nice, especially with a bit of a tan. I do really like that. Again, it might be a bit too bright, so these probably be my favourites. I don't think I've got enough. I don't think I've got 2 skeins in any of those. One of those I have 2 skeins in at the moment is that one. So if I need 2 skeins, I might go for that one, although I wear a lot of black and I don't think that would look very good with black. But I would really like to have a knitted sweater I could wear in the summer that's not too warm, because most of my 4-ply ones are just too warm, even on cooler days like today. It's quite humid here and I just find them a bit too warm. So let me know which colour you would go for if you were me. And let me know which colour you would go for if you were you. So I'm thinking about doing that. I need to work out how much yarn I'm going to need and then decide whether I have enough or whether I need to order some yarn and see what colours are available. But I would really like to decide that this week and order it so that I could cast some for that next week once I finish my Murana shawl, because the deadline project I'm focusing on for the next couple of weeks is a bit more intense with the yarn and stitch pattern combination without giving too much away. So I may want to have just a nice easy project. And the sweater, so this is the other thing I need to decide, is the construction method. I would like body from the underarm stand to be in the round because that's nice and easy. I've knitted a lot of stuff from the top down lately and I like it because I can try it on easier as I go and decide on lengths and things. With lace weight yarn, I really like dolman sleeves. So basically you cast on, if you're knitting from the bottom up, you cast on from the underarm here and then you knit the sleeves with the body. So it's knitted up to the underarm, cast on and knit up to the top and then join front and back together. I like that because it gives you like a seamless join here, but you have less flexibility when it comes to decide the sleeve length. I'm thinking I might want this like 3/4 length, but then I thought maybe I don't, so I don't know yet. I need to decide about that. And you have less flexibility if you do dolman sleeves because you have to make those decisions before you start this section at the top. So if I'm knitting from the top down, I need to make that decision straight off, and you do end up then with very long rows, which part of that's going to be purl, obviously. I am also thinking about doing dropped shoulders where I knit it straight down, join it in the round at the underarm, knit in the round, pick up stitches for the sleeves and knit them down. The advantage with drop shoulders is that it's a construction method I quite like because it's quite relaxed. It is very popular at the moment, although I know some people hate it. I think it's less of a problem with the later yarn because you get less bulk at the underarm. It's very easy when it comes to writing the pattern so that it can be adjusted and you can do like a mix and match sizing because there isn't any shaping around the armhole, although you can add a little bit to make it get away from this kind of underarm bulk that you can get with some drop shoulder designs. But because you can knit one body size and one sleeve size, so if you have very slim arms or very big arms compared to your body size, so let's say you have your arms are much bigger circumference than you in relation to your bust than what the standard sizing tables kind of give you. You do have a bit more flexibility, or if you have smaller, thinner arms than in relation to your bust size, so your bust is maybe a couple of sizes bigger than your arm size, for example, you can have more flexibility when it comes to sizing, and it makes it a lot easier to write a pattern, I think, while still offering plenty of flexibility for knitters. So, but then obviously you have to pick up stitches or seam here, so you do end up with a seam. I like dolman because it gives you like a seamless finish. So I need to make a decision about that before I do anything. But I was thinking if I cast on next week and I knit it from the top down, I can get this top section, which is worked flat, done. And then by the time we go on this long weekend trip in the middle of August, it will just be knitting in the round, which should be perfect for car knitting. Because we're basically driving from Cornwall to Lincolnshire and back. And it's 8 hours each way without stopping, I think. So it's going to be a very long drive. So it would be useful to have something that's easy to knit in the car that's not necessarily socks. Although I did ruin a couple of socks the other day because I accidentally put my socks in the washing machine on a regular 40-degree wash. I always washed them on the 30-degree wool wash. I accidentally put it on a 40-degree regular wash, so I felted a couple of pairs of socks that ended up binning, and yeah, so I could do with knitting some more socks. But then that project was something I was thinking about doing when I go to Norway at the end of August. So I've left a lot of clothes in Norway. I'm traveling with just a backpack and a small crossbody bag now, like a tiny crossbody bag. So I can't take a lot of knitting. So I need to fit all my medication, my liquids, my tech stuff like chargers, phone, Kindle, whatever, tablet, all that kind of stuff in there. So I don't have like a lot of extra space. But I can fit a knitting project in there, but the smaller the better. So when I was clearing up my stash video is up. It came up on Tuesday, so I did film this kind of stash tour. Basically, I tidied up my yarn stash and went through it and decided what to keep and what not to keep. So I've been really ruthless this time, and everything I've decided not to keep is on my website. I will link that below. I have loads of project bags, loads of yarn, mostly hand dyed. A lot of it is 4-ply yarn, and a lot of books, some really great books, because I'm just being really ruthless because I just need the space, because there's too much stuff in this room. So I've still got some books to go through. I've been through most of it, just looking at my shelf over there. I don't know whether there's going to be an awful lot more books. I have some I picked out that I haven't listed yet, so hopefully I'll get them listed today or tomorrow by the time this video comes out. So we'll see. So if you're interested in that, go and check out my website because it's good prices. Anyway, while I was clearing it up, I found these 2 yarns, which I've had in my stash for I don't know how many years. It was when I was still ordering stuff from the US regularly. It is called Kivik, Windy Valley, Muskox, Alaska. Kivik yarn. This one is, I'm wearing contacts today, so I can't read very well. 45% Kivik, 45% extra fine merino, and 10% mulberry silk, and it has 218 yards, so about 200 meters ish per 28.5 gram. Really lovely purple, a bit fussy. This one is same company, but this one is 50% Kivik, 50% mulberry silk, same meterage, but I have used a bit of this, I think. I have thought about casting on with these 2 yarns for a long time. I bought them thinking I would knit both together. Don't think that's a full skein, because the label is a bit loose. I need to wait and work out how much I've got. So I'm thinking about doing something with these. I thinking this would be a really good project for Norway, because I have about 400 meters, and because it's quite thin yarn, it would take me a while to knit up. So I was thinking this will probably be a good project for Norway. I am thinking about doing a cowl or an infinity scarf. I think 400 meters, even in thin yarn, would be a bit too much for a cowl. I knitted a cowl in some Kivik yarn a long time ago. If I can find a picture, I'll put it on the screen. It was yarn I got from a local yarn shop. The couple who ran the company, it's a different company from this, they were visiting, and the owner invited me for like a private showing after the shop had closed. Very expensive yarn. She stocked a little bit of it for a few years, and she used to keep it locked in the office because it's so expensive. I bought like, I don't know how much it was, 25 grams, 30 grams, something maybe like that, lace weight, and it was like £80, and that's a long time ago. But I bought it because I just wanted to try knitting with Kivik, and it wasn't even 100% Kivik, it was Kivik cashmere and silk, I think. Anyway, I bought this bright green colour, which I really like, and I'm sure I found the cowl last year, but I don't know where it's gone now. I thought it was in my drawer here, but it's not. And I really knitted like a small lacy cowl, which I used a lot for a few years, and then I kind of didn't use it for several years. But if I can find it again, I might get it back in rotation for next winter. And last couple of winters, I worn cowls a lot. It's basically been mostly what I've been wearing in the winter instead of scarves and shawls and things. So that's what I'm thinking. Originally I was thinking lace, but I'm thinking maybe brioche. So I need to think about that and make up a plan before I go to Norway at the end of August, because I thought this would be a perfect travel project because it's so small. And it might not keep me going for the whole holiday. I might run out, but you know, plenty of yarn shops in Norway. It is a few hours later on Wednesday, and I haven't edited the podcast yet, and the post has arrived. So I thought, because some yarn just arrived today, so rather than leaving it till next week and then not remembering whether I shared it or not, I thought I would just show you. So I haven't looked at it yet. It is from Pixie Yarn, who is one of my favourite indie dyers, And I must admit, I couldn't remember what I'd ordered. I knew the colourway I'd ordered, but I couldn't remember which base I'd ordered. Last year, Pixie Yarns did a quarterly club, and I got several of her clubs. I got the spring one, spring, summer, autumn, I can't remember. And I made a cardigan with it, with a couple of full skeins that I also had from Pixie Yarns. And my favourite colourway was the Spring Equinox, which is this. So this is the sparkly base, and I got this last year. I got this, the sparkly one in the variegated one, then I got the regular sock yarn in the regular sock one, which went into this cardigan I knitted in the spring, winter, I can't remember. And I haven't decided what to do with this, and a few times I've seen that she shared on Instagram that she had some left, and a couple of times I've gone on her website and nearly ordered another pack, and then I've sort of thought no, I won't do it. And then last week I saw another post, and this is last chance to order, this just what's left, I'm not dying anymore, I think it's kind of what it said. So I got another one. I actually thought I'd ordered the sparkle, but I haven't. I ordered the regular sock yarn. I know I did it a bit, but to get the sparkle of the regular sock yarn. So this is the Spring Equinox again, the semi-solid version. So I've now got the sparkle and the non-sparkle, the regular sock yarn. So my originally I got this, and then I got the solid version of this. And my plan was to do a shawl using the two, and then I didn't do that. And I put the solid versions into, plus all the other mini skeins from this club, into this cardigan I knitted. And I haven't been sure what to do with this. So I got the solid, the sock yarn versions. I got one that's sparkly and one that's not sparkly. Same colours. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I just love this colourway. So I decided to get it, just in case. They were reduced a little bit, a couple of pounds or something. So probably the right time to get it, because this is the last chance. I have looked at Pixie Yarn's club this year, quarterly club, because you can see the colourways before you order them. And I must admit, so far I haven't really liked the colourway, so I haven't ordered any of them. But as a whole, I really like a lot of her yarns, and I have a sweater quantities of yarn over there, which is going to become a sweater probably sometime this autumn. Last week I messed up. I had something on Thursday last week. So normally I write my newsletter on the Thursday, and then the video goes out Thursday afternoon and the newsletter goes out at the same time, because I schedule it. I wrote my newsletter on the Tuesday and accidentally scheduled it for the Wednesday, because I rather than the Thursday. So on the Wednesday afternoon, when I noticed that a newsletter had gone out with a link to the last week's podcast, I was like, you could watch it, but you couldn't comment, I think, because it wasn't officially live. But if you had the link, you could watch it, but you couldn't comment. So I then made the podcast live as soon as I realised. So the podcast last week went out on a Wednesday instead of a Thursday. I haven't looked at the what are they called? Like how many people have watched it and all that kind of stuff, to see what it was different from the other weeks. Because people said the best way to get more people to watch YouTube videos is to post it at the same time every week, and be consistent. And obviously I wasn't last week, because it went out 24 hours early. So if you were looking for it on Thursday last week and you couldn't find it, it went out on Wednesday last week. This week I'm filming it on a Wednesday morning. I'm going to go to Pilates in a minute, and then this afternoon I will edit this and upload it, so it will go out tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah, I messed up last week, so if you missed it, I will link it at the end of this video and below this video, so you can go and take a look. And I'll also link my stash tour and de-stash video as well, and the de-stash page on my website, so do go and check that out. And while you're on my website, you can obviously check out all the other yarn that's on my website. Anyway, that's enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, and leave me a comment and tell your friends about this channel if you like it. I will see you next week. Thank you for watching.